I remember the wharf in Glace Bay very much, and the coasts. I remember sitting on the top of a cliff every now and then and looking out at the ocean and meditating, and, although I didn't know I was meditating at the time. And I remember going to Hebrew school in Glace Bay because that was after school every day, and that was Sunday morning. And another thing that I think played a big part in my life was religion. My mother was a very religious lady and followed all the rules. And going to the synagogue every Friday night and every Saturday morning, always.
Well, I grew up, I would say, in the north end of Halifax. We were a large family. My father had 5 brothers, 2 sisters. My mother had a number of sisters and brothers, and their children were growing up in Halifax at the same time that my brother, sister, and I grew up here, so we were a very close family.
I remember one of our favorite games, my 2 brothers and I slept in the same bedroom, and in the winter we'd always get in the same bed, and we had a game. The wallpaper was a hideous pile of flowers, but we'd sit in the bed and blow our breath out and see who could make their breath to go the furthest, see how many flowers they could pass.
I became a constant performer on the Uncle Mel radio show. This was actually H.O. Mills from Mills Brothers, but he had a radio show and he was known all over the province as Uncle Mel.
I was good at almost everything except mathematics, which I was ferociously bad at. Just couldn't do math at all. And to this day, how I ever got through anything to get a Bachelor of Science degree, I have no idea.
I became a member of the Canadian Opera Company, which had just established itself in Toronto. I did a lot of touring, a lot of concertizing at that time. I also joined a choir and became their soloist, and one of the greatest experiences of my stay in Toronto was a performance with the renowned Paul Robeson just before he was unable to enter Canada because of the McCarthy era. He was kind and gentle and enormous in size and a most magnificent voice. I don't think I could ever forget that experience.
I spent a couple of summers at one of the coal mines. The first summer I was underground on the back shift, that's the 11 to 7 shift, as a deputy boy. Now, a deputy boy is somebody who accompanies the mine examiner, making the rounds and checking out rooms and areas that have been closed due to gas accumulation or a falling rock. As you carried a Humphrey Davy lamp, they kept an eye on the color of the flame, because if there was too much coal gas accumulating, the flame would change color, and it meant that you better get out of there as fast as you could.
I was very fortunate to have received a scholarship to study in Italy, and I was back in Halifax getting papers and things organized for this wonderful happening when I was confronted with the idea of pursuing my career or settling down and becoming a wife.
Well, I felt she was the most beautiful girl I'd ever seen in my life. We started seeing each other, and I saw her then all summer, practically every hour I was off duty. I was either letting her mother feed me, or we were together dancing somewhere, or with a group, sometimes singing.
I really wasn't anxious to leave my family and find myself touring Europe, living out of a suitcase and hoping for a career. I really wasn't adventuresome, not as adventuresome as I thought I was. Having just completed a Canadian tour and living out of a suitcase for a month, I thought to myself, I don't really know if I like this kind of lifestyle or not, and maybe it's time for me to think what I really wanted. What I really wanted was to get married, have a family, and settle down after having been involved in music from the time I was 12 years old.
We did a lot of talking together, and I admired her intelligence too, and her knowledge and her very widespread interests and her understanding of things. Thank goodness she said yes. She thought she'd enjoy being married to me more than studying opera at Milan.
I think for Mom and Dad, we were the only thing in there. You know, that's what Dad worked for. Mom stayed home until we were all moved out of the house, and that's pretty much what we know, I think. That's what our parents did. That's what they lived for. That's what they worked for.
My parents were much better at not giving advice than I gave them credit for, at allowing me to make a choice or make a mistake. I see medicine as a scientific field or an academic field of endeavor. You know, the knowledge that constitutes medicine, research, moving medicine forward, that's what's exciting about medicine as far as I'm concerned.
What I would have liked to have had instilled in me is that learning is fun. I never felt that learning was fun because it never was fun for me. And that's what I would like my child or children to know. I probably have the life more like Mom and Dad than Mark or Matthew, and I was the one who rebelled against it the most.
Well, I think I'm trying to find more of a balance in my life than I think Mom and Dad did.
I think
yes,
both of us.
You know,
sure.
When I leave my office at 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock, if I'm not on call, I'm gone. I'm no longer Dr. Burnstein. I'm Matthew Burnstein, private citizen, and I want to be private citizen, whereas my father was available to his patients 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
You know, I think one of the big disappointments for him was when he had to stop making house calls. Because that was a big part of life for me. I can remember on Sundays, and I used to go with Dad a lot making house calls, and it used to be really fun.
We all did that.
And Dad and I used to quiz each other on the names of the streets. We knew all the names of the streets in Halifax because he had a patient somewhere, everywhere, and that used to be fun. And I think he misses that a lot.
Yeah, that's a great memory for me, being on house calls.
That was a family outing on Sunday. Was going to be house calls. Mom and the three of us would be in the back seat.
Once it was safe to leave the two of us or three of us in
the car alone,
us destroying the car or one another.
I really don't know how I even got a job at Northwood. I mean, it was sort of a fluky happening. I was asked to come here one day to help them establish a choir. At the time I was teaching, and all the way over I kept saying to myself, I don't have time to do one more thing. And I walked in here and there were about 8 or 9 seniors sitting around waiting for me to do something wonderful for them. And they were so excited and so enthusiastic about starting this choir that I said I would try to come on Friday afternoons after I finished teaching and help them. And before I knew it, I had a job at Northwood. How are you today?
Hanging on.
Good. Good. One day at a time. You still smoking a little cigar?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, all right. In the morning. But when I got here, I realized that my concept of what Northwood was totally wrong. I had come to what is called the Multi-Purpose Center, which is a building where seniors who live in the Northwood Manor have use of all the facilities, but Northwood Multi-Purpose Center services all of the region, all of the area, as a social center, as a craft center, as an art center, as a music center, a drama center, whatever one would want past the age of 50 to add some pleasures to their lifestyle are available here at Northwood. The Northwood Players are a result of the 7 or 8, 9 people that were here the first day I got here.
If it wasn't for you, if it wasn't for me, if it wasn't for love and we got it for free, I wouldn't be here with you beside me, happily.
I was happy with you, you were happy with me. We were never apart, and I'm sure you'll agree. Our happiness grew when we knew life would be you and me.
The senior family will show the world that sharing our love makes you strong. We look around and found you play.
When we finish practicing or we finish a rehearsal, we can go in the cafeteria and we can sit around and we can laugh about things that have been very humorous. And sometimes I think we have more fun at our rehearsals than we do when we put on a play or a musical.
Okay, good job. It's going to be lovely when everybody's behind you.
If you can grow older and still maintain some type of health, then if you've been an active young person and a thinking young person, I think you grow older, but you still remain an active, thinking, older person. If, as I said, your health remains with you. That's one of the big ifs.
Hi, Mendel. Good evening, good evening. How are you tonight?
How are you, Mendel?
Not too bad, yourself?
Hey, Mendel. How are you?
Not too bad, yourself?
Great, so
You
good
looking
to
well?
see you. I feel great. How about yourself?
Good.
Good.
Ready for a good show?
I'm going in, yeah.
Don't want to miss anything.
No,
And I don't dare, so.
you're going.
Of course, what do you think?
Well, I can't see you missing it.
I wouldn't dare miss it.
He was her man, but he was doing her wrong.
Being with these people gives me courage and makes me feel a lot better about when the day comes that I might have to think of what I'm going to do when I'm somewhat older. I'm not as afraid of it as I might have been.
We were waiting 5 extra minutes for you.
Yeah.
And then we couldn't wait anymore. We said, go ahead.
We got
Did you get here? Yeah.
We got here just
I waited
in
until he got in.
Yeah.
Well, I
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Did you like the show?
Oh, it's a great show.
Yeah.
Very,
Did you
very
enjoy
much.
it? Yeah. Okay, so you're going on the bus?
We are going on the bus.
Okay, well, I'll see you at home.
Give us a note. We thought
Okay.
we'd walk.
Well, it's lovely, and I think you should.